Hey there, Canopy Growth traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community. It is Tuesday, January 9th. Hope you're doing as good as you can be this morning with the dilution news that hit the market with regards to Canopy Growth today in a private placement. I mentioned on a previous video that we weren't out of the woods yet and that we could more than likely see more downside for CGC, and the technicals were also saying that as well. So we'll go through my thoughts and opinions on this and what we can potentially expect in terms of price action in the days, weeks ahead. We'll go through the deal, the private placement deal, and the details on that. And then, like I said, we'll jump into the chart and take a look at the technicals and what to expect in terms of price action. But again, not financial advice. This is for entertainment and informational purposes only. And you should never, ever buy anything based on anything that I say or anything that I write. Okay. Also, make sure to give us a follow over on X, which is formerly Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. And I would appreciate it if I could get you to subscribe and tick the bell. And then that way, anytime I go live or post a new video, you'll also be notified. So speaking of videos, this was the video that I did 12 days ago saying that Canopy Growth not out of the woods yet. And I went through some review and analysis and talked about how we could see a little bit more downside in terms of the price before we see any real recovery. And then today we got the news. So as the saying goes, show me the chart, I'll tell you the news. We looked at the chart, a couple weeks ago, and it was saying more downside was more than likely going to be the most likely scenario and was going to ensue. And then sure enough, a couple weeks later, we get the news that Canopy Growth announces US 30 million private placement. So this news dropped this morning at 8:14 Eastern time. So we'll go through the details here. Canopy today announced that it has entered into a subscription agreement dated as of January 9th, 2024 with certain institutional investors in a private placement offering 6,993,007 units at a price per unit of US $4.29 for aggregate gross proceeds of approximately 30 million US. So you can look at this and say, yes, it's dilution, it's bad, it's not good for shareholders, current shareholders, maybe people who are new shareholders that are looking to get into the company going forward, they may welcome a lower price, right? So it really depends on your circumstance and your situation, and the fact that institutional investors are interested in Canopy and are looking to buy is not exactly the worst thing. But again, this is sort of a death spiral that has been going on for Canopy Growth lately. They're trying to become an asset light MJ company, right? Focusing on core aspects of their businesses that drive profitability, growth, and getting rid of those parts of their businesses that aren't contributing to profitability and growth and are adding more to the company's losses, right? So like think BioSteel and This Works, they got rid of those segments of their business, and this just is that bearish momentum that's continuing for the stock. And as we know, they're not profitable, so there's going to be dilution, right? Let that be a lesson as well for any other stock that you own, any other, whether it be MJ or any other emerging market. If the company that you're investing in is not profitable, you always have to have the word dilution in the back of your brain, because if they're not making money on their bottom line, then it's just a ticking time bomb before they have to either, get some sort of non-dilutive financing or they tap the equity markets and dilute that way, right? And raise that way through dilution. So the purpose of this offering is to provide the company with additional liquidity of US $30 million to further strengthen Canopy Growth's financial position. Proceeds are expected to be used to pay down debt, which is consistent with the company's strategy for overall debt reduction, as well as for working capital and other general corporate purposes. So we know that debt is a big thing plaguing Canopy, so that is, again, to be expected, right? You can take a look at whether or not the company's profitable, how much cash they have on hand, how much debt they have. And with Canopy, it was very clear and evident that most people were expecting another round of dilution, and that just came after a 1-for-10 reverse split as well. So the troubling times continue for CGC and Canopy Growth, but the deal price there at $4.29, not surprising to see price come down, and will more than likely trend back to that support. So that will be our new target area around for that $4.29 USD, like I said here on the NASDAQ, because that was the deal price. Generally, when you get some sort of financing, when the price, whether it be higher or lower, if it was higher, right, and we were in a bull thesis and a bull scenario, if the price was higher, we would probably be up, a ton today, and we'd be trending to that higher deal price. But because it's lower, we're trending to that lower deal price, and we have support here at 441. If we lose that, then like I said, 429 will be in the deal price target, and then support there at a double bottom at 380. So we'll be looking at that as support. And like I said, in this video, I said that we weren't out of the woods yet. In terms of the technicals, we were having a MACD bear cross on CDC, so we're getting that out of the way now. But again, I still think we could see a little bit more weakness. Also, the S&P 500 was weak today, seeing some downside and daily consolidation over the last few days. But today's a daily inside bar, so we had daily consolidation, weekly consolidation, which we knew was inevitable and the most likely scenario over there. Really, we were expecting it any week, and we got it last week. So at the moment, it's just a nice weekly higher low and a potential bull flag here on the S&P 500. But the selling pressure on SPY to open the day today, and then also this news with regards to dilution, definitely hurt the stock. And like I said, I would be expecting more downside, likely down to that $4 area. I think we more than likely go past the deal price. I think maybe even a flush of $4 might be a good area to target there as a potential bottom fish play. But we did have earnings from Tilray this morning as well. I just did a live stream. I live streamed the conference call, and then at the end I gave my thoughts and opinions. But they had a slight miss in terms of EPS analyst estimates, and then slight beat in terms of revenue, but not enough to really lift up the market and the sector. And then the weakness from the CGC news and dilution, and then the S&P 500 weakness to start the day, just adding to this bearish case, right, and momentum. So like I said, doji candle right now on CGC, and we're trending toward the low of the day. Would not be surprised in the least to see us around 429 or a flush of $4 USD. And I may look to add CGC. It's less than 10%. It's around 6 or 7% of my entire MJ portfolio holdings in terms of capital, 6 or 7% of it. So I might look to add another CGC position in my tax-free savings account, my TFSA. I still got about 65% of contribution room of that. We get $7,000 for Canadians to contribute and grow tax-free. So I use 35%, so I still got about 65% of that left. And I'll be looking to potentially add maybe 5 to 10% of that contribution room into CGC again. We'll see. But I'm focusing mostly on the US producers right now with my tax-free savings account, as I already have CGC in my long-term positions. And I also added High Tide, SNDL, and Cresco last week. I did a video on that as well. But like I said, after this weakness that we were expecting, like I said, CGC, MACD was the only real cause for concern. And I didn't see any other technicals pointing to a reversal here. And then, like I said, as the saying goes, show me the chart and I'll tell you the news. And then today we got the news. And this comes right after the reverse split. So it takes a while for this to get absorbed and the market to kind of forget about a reverse split. Down over 99% from February 2021 highs. Still just looking for that monthly higher low as well. Nowhere near starting, the monthly bounce and continuing a month to confirm a monthly uptrend. And we're still a ways away before we see a weekly EMA 12 and 26 bull cross. And we're still a ways away before we see a golden cross on the daily with the 50-day crossing the 200-day moving average. But I think over the next, call it multiple weeks, couple of months, I think CGC could hit a bottom and really start to kick it into high gear, no pun intended. And I think it's just going to follow the rest of the sector. We're expecting a ruling on whether or not Florida is going to have MJ on the ballot for 2024. We're expecting a ruling by April 1st. And I'm expecting somewhere around, the quarter 1 or quarter 2 of this year, we should see an update from the DEA. And I think they're going to approve Schedule 3. And that could all be around the same time. If we get that included with safer banking, all those catalysts, oh man, Germany's set to come online. CGC also has the cultivation facility in Kincardine, which is EU GMP certified. So it'll be a big player in the German market as well. So things are looking up, but like I said, it could see a little bit more downside, maybe around that 429 deal price down to around a flush of $4. And then I think that'll be a buying opportunity and a moment where we could potentially be setting a long-term bottom and monthly higher low on CGC as we look for sector catalysts into the spring and over the next 1 to 2 quarters of 2024. I think the first half of 2024 are going to be very promising. And then into the end of 2024, all bets are off depending on how many catalysts we get and whether or not they're all string together. So going to end it there, let me know what you think of this news. There were some people on the live stream on the Tilray call today that were pretty cheesed about this, but again, we have to expect dilution if the company isn't profitable. And yeah, just let me know your thoughts and opinions. I know it's tough out there, but I think we're definitely closer to a bottom and starting a new multi-year bull market than a lot of people think. All right, it's Rod with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth, and we shall see you again on the next video.